Hello everyone, I'm Darth Loquitur. Welcome to the channel. If you're a newer player or looking for advice on how to build a new account, this video will be very helpful for you. Today, we're going to go through my account, a non-hyperdrive account that just recently hit level 85. I've played the game for a week, but I've held all my credits, mods, everything, and I'm going to go through one entire week's worth of progress together with you, and you can see all of the decisions I'm making on my account, what I'm doing, how I'm building my characters, and I'll explain why. So take a look around the account. It should look about the same as last time in the update. It is a little more galactic power because the Bronzium shards gave me I'm a Gun Die and Old Daka unlocked for free, so that's a few characters that I didn't necessarily want. I did manage to farm 3 sets of stun cuffs. I've already developed them into gear for this Snow Trooper because he is the one that I'm planning to upgrade this week. So here we go. We're going to take the Snow Trooper to gear 12. That uses up 2 of those sets of stun cuffs. That leaves me with 1 more set of stun cuffs to use on another character. Remember, we're trying to manage our galactic power. We can't go over 599 if we want to be in Division 11 for this upcoming round of Grand Arena. So if we look at Piet, we want to put the Zeta on him. He needs these stun cuffs for a gear tier up. But we also have Stark, who needs the stun cuffs for his gear tier. And we have to make a decision which one of these guys we're going to use. Now Stark's at 6 stars and Piet's only at 3. Stark is doing more damage. So what we're going to do, we're going to take him up and go ahead and do the gear upgrade on him just because he's going to be a better damage dealer for the team at this point. So there we go. We got his levels up to where they need to be. Apply the gear. And he's upgraded to gear level 10. All right. Now we're going to go down to that Piet. We need to apply his Zeta. He needs to be level 84 for the Zeta. So we're just going to take him all the way up, max him out at 85. And that'll make sure that we can apply that Zeta and any future gear tiers that he needs. So here's the Emperor's Trap. This is our 3rd Zeta for the account. We put 1 on Vader, Merciless Massacre. We put 1 on Veers for his ability to keep the troopers getting lots of turn meter. Now we got Piet for the Emperor's Trap, and we're off and running with our trooper team. There's quite a few other characters down here, Grandmaster Yoda, Stormtrooper, Boba Fett, that all could go up a gear tier, but they also need levels. And if we're putting levels on them and also adding gear tiers, we could go over our galactic power. The Brood Alpha there is very close to getting 7 stars. Once we get 7 stars with him, we'll work on that Padme unlock, and then I'll be able to put some effort in my Geos again. So we are considering Boba Fett. We are taking a look at Bastila down here. She's another one who it would be nice to get a gear tier on her. But some of the gear that she needs is pretty rare gear. It's needed on other characters. And we'd have to pretty much max out her level to get to gear 10. So we're going to pass on her for now. Again, we don't want to skyrocket the galactic power. And I do want to take these guys that have all the shards and get them up to 7 stars. So we got Vader and Veers, both of whom can be taken to max stars. Now, for anybody who's watched my gear video, you're going to see, I hope by now, how well that strategy works of just farming the bottleneck gear and letting the rest of the game bring you the rest of the gear that you need. I've been farming these stun cuffs for 7 weeks now, and every time I get a set of stun cuffs, it unlocks a gear tier for a character. And you can see a lot of the characters that are waiting on 1 piece of gear are waiting on those stun cuffs. So I'll continue to work on stun cuffs, and each set that I get gets me a tier upgrade on one of these characters. And for the rest of the gear, you know, the game is giving me, we're going to upgrade scan all wavelengths so that he gets both buffs out of that. So you're going to see that the game is giving me enough gear that all I'm really waiting on is those stun cuffs, and I'm able to go to the shops, get gear out of there, whatever I get out of raids or guild events, and then some things that I'm requesting from the guild daily. It's enough, and as long as I'm unlocking those stun cuffs, I'm able to push these characters up levels. So now we've got 67,000 galactic power on those troopers. That's nice. Over here, it's pretty much the same. Other than, getting Vader to 7 stars, we really didn't do much else with the account this week. We're at 593 galactic power. I don't want to go too much more because if you get too close and then the Bronzium Shard gives you another free character, it can take you over the galactic power, so you don't want to do that. So here we go into mods. We're going to sell everything that's not a 5-dot mod first. Then we're going to go in. I'm still selling off the gray mods for the circles, the diamonds, and the squares. And pretty soon I'll probably start working and developing these gray mods for the left-hand side. But for right now, I'm getting enough mods in the green and blue and purple from those that I don't really have to be working on the gray ones. And then we'll go into triangles. Now you have to be careful with these triangles because that's the least, you get the least of those, so you can't sell off too many of those. And then we're going to go into the crosses, and we're going to sell off everything with tenacity. We don't really want tenacity on a cross unless it is a tenacity mod. So we're going to go through some mod development here, and I'll kind of explain my decisions just like I did last week. We farmed about 50-50 between crit chance mods and speed mods. And if anybody remembers all the way back at the start when I decided to do this channel, I said I was only going to farm 3 mod sets for this alt account. We got 2 flat stats there, so that mod's gone. I was just going to farm the crit chance mods, the speed mods, and tenacity mods. And so far that's all I have farmed. And I've gotten health mods out of some events and things like that, so I do have other kinds of mods, but those are from somewhere in the game that I earned them. I'm just farming speed mods and crit chance mods at the moment. And I do have to start working on some tenacity mods so that when I work on some characters in the future, I'll be able to use tenacity. This is an offense mod. We don't like the stats on it, though. This has a lot of flat stats. It doesn't have much of a chance of being good, but, just for putting that third one on and seeing what it is. This one already has speed, so we're trying real hard to get something into speed. And we'll try just one more time, but we don't get a speed upgrade, then by the time it's purple, it's got to have at least 2 speed upgrades. So now we're just looking at these speed mods. If they don't develop a speed subset by the time they have all 4 of their stats, then they're just sold. Get them out of here. For these crit chance, we're looking for speed if we can get it, but we're looking for crit chance, offense, things like that make a very offensive mod. This one's got speed on it, so we're looking to try to hit the speed substat with an upgrade. We'll try again, and we get a 10 speed mod. So that's not horrible. We'll keep that one. And maybe in the future we can slice it up to something better. So this goes on for quite some time, and just like in the prior video, I'm just going to fast forward it. You can kind of see I'm just going through mod by mod, and I'm not actually modding a character this time. I'm just working on the mods, and I'm working on them section by section. So I'll do squares, and I'll do green squares, and then I'll go to crosses, and I'll do purple crosses, blue crosses, and then green crosses. And that sorting just helps you not have so much stuff on your screen to deal with at any one time. So then we get into the gray crosses, and I'm sorting those today, and we're getting rid of a lot of them because they're just not developing speed stats. And then we get to this one, and it develops 2 nice stats, speed and crit chance. And then we get potency. And then we get flat offense, which isn't the greatest, but it's not bad. Flat offense is not a bad stat. So we're looking at this and we say, okay, fine, let's slice it, right? See if we can hit speed. And we hit a +6 upgrade on speed, which redeems the +3. And then we get another 5 speed on it. And then we do have some slicing materials in the bank. So I'm thinking about it, and then I'm like, fine, one more slice, but that one doesn't turn out. So we get a 14 speed mod. And that's, let's say, the best mod in terms of speed that I get for the week. It's the only, 3 upgrade mod that I get. I get a 2 upgrade that's an 8 speed, and that one that we just saw that was a 10 speed, and that one. And I think that's it. That's the best I can get out of this week's mods. But you can see there's a lot of them that have a speed substat that just the speed subset doesn't develop, and we don't want to invest a whole bunch of resources in mods where we have to use expensive slicing materials to hope that we get better speed. We want to find a mod that already has a good speed and gets a speed upgrade and then invest more in it. With these triangles, again, you got to be a little more careful, and you end up keeping some stuff that maybe you wouldn't on another mod just because you don't get to see as many of the triangles. You have to be a little less picky about what you keep. And there's a 8-speed mod that we got there. So a lot of sold mods. And then we go through the squares, and it's the same kind of thing over and over and over again. And there's like 40 minutes of mod sorting in total for the account. So didn't want to show all of that, but here we get another 8-speed mod. I guess we got more of those 8 and 10-speed mods than I thought. So that's good. All right, so then we're on to circles, and I'm going to go through the circles. I think that's the last thing we have to do is the circles. Race through those, get a whole bunch with 3 speed, get a 3-speed upgrade. So because it went ahead and it upgraded its speed from 3 to 6, we're interested in that mod. It's not going to be one of the fastest mods we have ever developed, because with 2 speed hits at 3, that's not very impressive. We do want to try each week to slice up one of these good mods we have that already has 3 speed increases on it and try to see if we can get the 4th. So we've got enough slicing materials for 2. And it's because that's what I intended to do. So I planned to do 2, and I farmed enough materials to do 2. And we missed speed there. So out of these other 3 mods, which one do we want to pick that's, that one there has pretty bad substats other than the speed. So this one we try again. And there we go. So we've tried 4 upgrades like this in the last 2 weeks, and we've gotten 0 for 4. That's statistics. We'll get it someday. We'll get a mod with that 4th speed upgrade. But that's most of what I do for the mods for this week. And you can see here we need stun cuffs for him. He just needs 1, and it's stun cuffs. This Piet needs 1, and it's stun cuffs. Same thing with Veers, I believe, just 1, and it's stun cuffs. So that's what we'll be farming again for next week for sure. Probably still have at least 2 or 3 more weeks of the farming to do on stun cuffs. So now that we've got a trooper team built, let's go ahead and have some fun with our trooper team. This is a tier 4 of the challenge. So how the troopers work, for anybody who doesn't know, with the Veers lead, every time they get a buff, they get 10% turn meter. With Piet's Emperor's Trap, every time somebody takes a turn, they get a stack of Emperor's Trap. That counts as a buff. That gets people turn meter. So once you get the turn meter train rolling, it's rolling pretty good. Then if you kill somebody, it gives everybody 50% turn meter. So with the troopers, you need to chain 1 kill after another to keep their turn meter maxed out so that the opponent never gets a turn. These guys are tough enough that we can't do that. But you can see, even so, they're not getting too many turns, and we're going to be able to do a bunch of damage. And we're doing really well here on tier 4, and not taking a whole lot of damage in return. You can see one-shotted Veers. Calls a mass assist, everybody gets in there, and now it's pretty much over. You can see the Emperor's Trap is stacking up again, and the damage is ramping up, and we get a victory. So that's an example of how the troopers work. So let's go ahead and take them into the arena and see how they're going to do for us trying to climb up in the arena. And remember, this is a team that we're developing for the Grand Arena. So the whole idea of winning Grand Arena, it comes down to math, right? So if you can take one of their 100,000 galactic power teams and take it out with one of your teams that's at 65,000 galactic power, that means that you're saving back another team with other, characters that have good galactic power to beat other bigger teams or beat teams with fewer characters. So even though it's a 5-character team that's required to do this, you're going to see high banners because you pretty much take the other team out before they have a chance. Here we're going to go up against a team with a Relic 3 Darth Vader, but it's got a couple other weak characters on the team. So what we're hoping is that we're going to get a couple kills, keep that turn meter train rolling. Here we do the mark, get a bunch of buffs. These are counterattacks, so they haven't actually taken a turn yet. They're just counterattacking. Now, with Stormtrooper, once we taunt, their counterattacks are going to hit us while we have taunt, and it's going to take turn meter away from the opponent. So we did a mass assist. We got our first kill. There's the counterattacks coming in. And we do another area effect. More counterattacks coming in. But they still haven't taken a turn yet. And you can see that the Emperor's Trap is stacking up to 13. So they haven't interrupted it. It'll go back to 0 if they take a turn. So we're at 16 now. Working on Vader. 18, 20, and we're done. And at 20 stacks, it's 6% per stack. So they were doing an extra 120% damage by the end of that battle. Here we go with some Geos. This is one of the big reasons why I wanted to invest in this team, is because they are very good at killing teams like Geos. This big area effect is the reason why Snow Trooper is my preferred trooper for the early game team, because he's just going to mow down these Geos. And we've got an area effect here on Stark. We've got an area effect on Piet. And oh, that's beautiful. That is a beautiful thing. Goodbye. All right. Another Geo team. Same kind of thing. We're just going to hit them with the big area effects. Get the buffs. This gives us offense up. So we've got a bunch of buffs. Hit real hard. Now we're going to target the soldier because he's one of the weaker on the team. Do the mass assist. Take him out. And you can see my guys are all full turn meter. We're all going to go. These Geos are never going to get a chance to take a turn. Big area effect again. Doesn't kill them all that time, but it leaves them all in a sliver of life. And he goes again, and that's game over. That is so satisfying. All right, here's another team. Here's another battle against a team with a Relic Vader. This one's got a Grandmaster Yoda and a Dooku, and we're going to get counterattacked by that. But it's okay. The Stormtrooper's going to do his job. He's just going to sit there taking a beating. That's what he's there for. And again, with Veers, we're hoping to get this mass assist and get a kill, refresh that turn meter, and keep everybody else taking turns. There we go. Worked like a charm. We're going to do area effects again. Area effects again. Yoda's dead. That gets us more turn meter. Now we're taking more turns. Got another kill, more turn meter, and all that's left is Vader. Now, if Vader takes a turn, we're going to be in trouble. But so far, so good. 15 stacks of Emperor's Trap. They never took a turn. We win. Night Sisters. And again, this is another team that the Imperial Troopers are going to be really good at countering. Because it doesn't matter how many times they get resurrected. Everyone counts as a kill. It refreshes our turn meter. We're happy to get the turn meter back, and we just keep taking turns. So here we just pretty much kill the zombie in one shot. We kill the spirit because she's the weakest and it's easy to do. And here we just take a basic attack and take her out in the area effect. Now we'll do area effect damage again. And we've got two of their characters that are very close to taking a turn. So we're going to try to kill Daka, but she does get a turn in. It resets our Emperor's Trap, but it's not too big of a deal. We're in pretty good shape here. So kill on Daka, last kill on zombie, and we were never really in much danger of losing that battle. So there you go. That's a bit the rundown, what the account looks like and what those troopers are going to look like, what they're going to do for us. I'm excited. It's pretty satisfying. So let's talk about the plan going forward. So right now on ships, on my main account, when I built up my first good fleet, I had Home 1 with kind of it wasn't really a rebel fleet. It was the Silencer, the Houndstooth, and Anakin. And I was using those ships because I didn't mind building those characters up real big. And they have a really good synergy. You know, Anakin has good debuffs and good damage and target lock. Kylo Ren has the stun. He can take turns away from other ships. And obviously the Houndstooth is just a great ship all around as a tank. I reinforced with Cassian, Biggs, and Plo. And later on, when I got the Falcon, for the longest time, I actually just used the Falcon as a reinforcement for this team, not as like a core part of trying to make a rebel fleet. And that was really good. I could take number 1 for a long time in fleet with that. And it was really solid in fleet arena. It has, you know, some protection recovery mechanics, and with Plo in there, you could get banners back. So it's a pretty solid fleet. And I do plan to do that again. However, I've been looking at the next tier, so I'll lock into Grand Arena Division 11 for this round. And then I do want to try to play in Division 10 for the next round. And I've been sitting on ships now for 4 weeks without really doing anything. And I've got 14 million ship credits in the bank, which is quite a bit. But Division 10 only goes from 600,000 galactic power to 800,000 galactic power. And if I build this Home 1 team, you know, build up Home 1 and the ships that I want, I'm looking at probably 150,000 galactic power in ships. And that would be most of going from Division 11 to Division 10. And I don't really want to go into Division 10 with huge fleets and no characters to back it up. So I think I need to put a throttle on that. And it's not really wise to kind of go that hard for Fleet Arena yet. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to have one more cycle. It's 5 weeks, 4 weeks of Grand Arena and then a week of break. So I'll manage my galactic power again, try to get in Division 10. And I'll use the Executrix still as my main capital ship. I'll 7-star the Geos, and I'll put skill ups on them, especially on the Spy and the Soldier, and get them, fully upgraded. And then as when I start putting effort into those Geo characters, those ships will get better anyway, and that'll be good. And I'll work on Tarkin as a character to help the capital ship get more speed, but I'm not going to invest a ton in skills and levels because I do plan to have the Home 1 as my main capital ship. And if I spend all of those resources on Tarkin's ship, then even in the future when I want to build Home 1, I'll be missing those resources. So I'm going to kind of sit on the capital ship and just work on Tarkin. And I need Tarkin anyway if I'm thinking about going for the Sith Eternal Emperor at some point in this account. So I don't mind building him for now. So I think what I'm going to do, when I think of ship power compared to total galactic power, I'm looking for about 40%. That means that your ship power should be about 2/3 of the power that you have in characters. So if we think about 200,000 power, that gives me 80 to spend in ships and 120 for characters. So I should be able to get in there and work on Anakin's ship, level it up, skill it up, and really get Anakin's starfighter going. I don't know about Slave 1. I've still got that at level 1. It's a great reinforcement for Home 1 early in the game because it comes in with Taunt and Retribution, and every time it does the attack back, the attack out of turn gives it more protection. So it's a surprisingly good ship with Home 1 early game. So if there's GP to spare, I will work on Slave 1. But for now, I'm not going to unlock and work on the Houndstooth, and I'm not going to unlock and work on Plo's ship yet. I will start collecting shards for Biggs X-Wing and Cassian's U-Wing because those are 2 ships that I plan to use in the Rebel fleet. So then maybe in the next division, I'll be able to work on those ships and get that going. So next week, after we lock in Division 11, I do plan to activate those Rebel characters for the Mon Mothma team and start working on them. I'll also start working on Bosk and Jango as characters. My energy is going to go into the same thing. We're still trying to finish out that Sith Trooper to 7 stars. Mon Mothma, Jango, and Stun Cuffs. For fleet energy, still Anakin ship and Bastila. And we are going to start farming the relic materials for Snowtrooper for the gold gear that he needs for his relic levels with the rest of the fleet energy. Refreshes, I'm still planning to do 2 mod, 2 energy, and then with the improvements in Arena, I think I'm going to be able to get top 200 every day in Squad Arena with the Trooper team. I'm hoping to, so that'll allow me to do 2 fleet refreshes as well. For the squad and the shops, I'm still converting most of that currency to use in the shard shop. I'm not building more new characters out of those shops yet. I'm spending $20 a month in the account. That's not a secret. I've been very public about saying that I'm spending $20 a month. And each month I'm using it pretty much exclusively for Cantina refreshes. So right now I'm going to build up some signal data so that once I get relic level on the Snowtrooper or any character, I will have that to be able to build them up to, let's say, relic 3 right when I get them going. And then once I have a stash of that signal data, I'm going to look to replace Stormtrooper in the Trooper Squad. And my original thought was to go for Death Trooper. I think he's the best fit early game. Snowtrooper is great at doing damage to a lot of characters, and Death Trooper is great at doing a lot of damage to one character. So I'm thinking about him. Some people over on the Discord have been asking about Moff Gideon, and it is pretty tempting to put Moff Gideon in there instead of the Death Trooper. He's got some interesting skills. He would be more of a support character in the team than he would be a damage character, but perhaps a better investment than Death Trooper. Thing is, I can get Death Trooper at double shard rate, and Moff Gideon is a single shard rate. So that's something I have to think about. But over the course of the next week, I'll be figuring out who's going to replace the Stormtrooper now that I've kind of decided and dedicated some effort toward that Trooper team. So, and you'll get to see what I decide because I'll be doing these account updates every week. So as we go through this, then I'll share it with you all. All right, that's the account update for this week. Thank you all for watching. Give this video a like. Subscribe to the channel if you want to watch more like this in the future. And like I always say at the end of these videos, join that Discord. We've really got a nice group of people over on the Discord. Plenty of help over there to be had, advice, and a lot of people with different opinions. So if you ask for advice, you may get 2 or 3 different pieces of advice that you can figure out which is going to work best for your account. So for anybody who wants that community, wants to get a little bit of help, join us over there. It's a good deal. All right. Thank you all. Appreciate your time. See you in the next video.